Hello guys, this is Scott from Nostalgic Nightmares and welcome to my introduction to the Goosebumps Horrorland series, which is a series of 18 books released between 2008 and 2011 by R.L. Stine. I've never got into my full history with Goosebumps yet, and I don't think I will until I do my introduction to the proper Goosebumps series itself. But all you really need to know is Goosebumps was the biggest part of my childhood that I can remember. Me and my best friend, who I've mentioned in previous videos, called Rachel, we lived and breathed Goosebumps, whether it was the books, the TV series, the computer games, the board games. I had like loads of, I had other things. I had like bookends and little things for the wall. I had loads of Goosebumps stuff as a kid, and I wish I still had it, just for nostalgia's sake. But yeah, Goosebumps was just such a big part of my childhood. And I was actually in the Goosebumps book club. So that's how I collected the original two series, the original and then 2000. I was in this book club, which I'll explain more about again in that introduction video of the next lot. It was basically a club where you sent off a amount of money each month. Well, I presume my mum and dad paid for it, because I didn't, because I was a kid. And every month I would get 3 books from the series, like beginning from 1. So the first lot would be 1, 2, 3, and then it'd be 4, 5, 6, and it'd be 7, 8, 9. So that's how I collected all those, and I kind of grew out of Goosebumps. I grew out of reading a lot of those books over the years. And then I was aware that Goosebumps Horrorland existed while I was at university, but I never read it. I'd seen 1 or 2 books in stores and thought, I might buy them, I might give them a read. That'd be a good laugh, but never really got into it. I bought a couple. I think I bought like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, some really random numbers. And I'd kind of flicked through some, but never actually properly sat down and really read them. And I kept seeing them on my shelf and kind of thinking, right, I need to get into these. But if I'm going to get into them, I'll buy them all. And I never did. Until semi-recently. It's for me, it's quite a funny story, actually. People who know me know I love Goosebumps. I've got all the books at home. I don't have them in my flat yet because I haven't got the room for them. They're at my mum's. But my nephew came over, he's now 8, I think he was 7 at the time. And he came over for Christmas and was showing me some things that he got for Christmas. And he pulled out a couple of the Goosebumps Horrorland books. I think it might have been the first 2 in the series. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. How many have you got? Did you just get a couple of them? I went, no, I got the box set of the first 10, which I think is the box set you can buy. Well, I know it's the box that you can buy, because I bought it afterwards, but I'll get into that. Yeah, he said, I've got the first 10, and I was just like, no, this is not okay. I didn't say this to him, but I said this to other people, and they thought I was so sad, but I don't care. I went, I'm not okay with my nephew having more Goosebumps books than I have. Well, not more, but different ones. He has Goosebumps books on his shelf that I don't have. I am not okay with this. So later on that day, I showed him my Goosebumps collection upstairs. And he was like, oh, I've not read these ones yet, the ones that I've got, but these are so cool. Can I buy some off you? I was like, I don't think so. He's like, I'll buy 5 off you for, I can't remember how, it was like it was a stupid amount of money, like not a lot. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not selling any of my Goosebumps. He went, well, I'll pay you this much. I was like, no, I'm not selling my Goosebumps books, sorry. I'm never going to plan to sell them. I only ever plan to get rid of them if I have a child, and I plan to give them to my child. Because they will like Goosebumps whether they like it or not. But I don't know if I'm ever going to have a child, but that's a different story. So I refused to let him buy any of them, which I felt really tight, but oh well. And then I went online to have a look at the price of the Goosebumps Horrorland series, and I couldn't find that cheap anywhere, really. And then in one really random bookstore, which is normally like a really end-of-line bookstore called The Works that we have in the UK, they were selling the box set of 1 to 10 for £15, which I thought was really good, considering you'd buy one on its own for over here £4.99 at its full price, and I only needed 3, maybe 4 more to get 1 to 10. It would have cost me the same amount, really, if not more, to buy the individual ones. So I thought I'd buy the box set. So I went into the shop to see if they had any, because I had a look online, and they had tons of them. So I got straight away, I picked one of those up, and I had 1 to 10. I was like, right, that's great. Now I've got to get the other lot, the other 18 of them. And I went online I actually went on the Scholastic website because I'd looked on eBay and Amazon and they weren't a bad price, but I wanted to see if I could get them anywhere cheaper. So I went to Scholastic, who actually published the books, and on their website I was looking at their shop, and they were selling them really cheap at the time. I've noticed since they've gone up, but they were selling them really cheap. Like, I think a couple of them were £1.99, some were like £2.50. So I literally put all the ones that I needed in a basket and bought the rest straight away. As you can see on the picture, the only thing I'm not happy with is that the last one, the Horror at Chiller House, is a really weird shape. It's shorter than the rest of the book, so you can see at the bottom, it's not as long as the other books, but it's wider, so it sticks out of the shelf a bit more. So I'm going to have to keep an eye out, and I might have to buy the Horror at Chiller House again at some point on its own if I see it in a shop. Is that normal? If anyone's got it that's the same, let me know. So I just thought it was really weird that I got them all from the same place, the actual publishers, and one was like a different shape compared to the rest of them. But yeah, another thing I wanted to point out, other than the fact that I got dead excited when the last date arrived, I was with my friends, we were going on a night out, and the Scholastic delivery van came really late in the day, and we were drinking alcohol and stuff in my flat, and this box came, and I was like, no, you go drinking, I have important business to take care of. And I was sat there like being such a nerd, opening these books going hee hee hee, looking at all the covers, reading all the blurbs, getting dead excited. But yeah, it's interesting to notice that there's a special edition, which is like the fourth from the middle one in the bottom row, Weirdo Halloween. And that special edition one is basically nearly double the length of a normal Goosebumps book. It's about 200 pages, I think, without looking at it right now. So I'm really excited to read that one because it's like a new book, like a double length book, and obviously Goosebumps are normally 120, 130 pages, something like that. So I think that'll be really exciting to read that one. There are a few sequels in the series, that obviously Night of the Living Dummy, Deep Trouble, Monster Bloods, Haunted Mask. I don't think the Mummy ones are a sequel. Say Cheese and Die. Obviously, there's the Horrorland theme throughout, which I'll explain in a minute. I don't think Heads You Lose. I don't think that's a sequel to The Headless Ghost. But yeah, this series is actually really unique for Goosebumps, as you probably already know if you're listening to this. Every Goosebumps book is completely different, with minus the odd series sequel. But with the Goosebumps Horrorland, they actually split into two different sections. The first, say, 3/4 of the book are a new story, like an individual story. And the last quarter is called Enter Horrorland. And they all carry on from each other. So some of the main characters from the first part of the book get tickets to Horrorland and go to Horrorland, and bad stuff happens there. And say at the end of the second book, the Horrorland section, those same characters are in it, but with the new characters. And as you go through, they start to intermingle, and the storylines all connect as they all try to escape Horrorland together, which is a really unique concept, which I was really excited about reading these. I'm not sure how I'm going to review these ones because of that, because the two sections are so disjointed that it might be difficult to review, kind of, because they're so different. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that yet, but I'll have a think, and I'll let you know when I do the first review. At the moment, I've read the first 9 of them, up to Welcome to Camp Slither, and I put a stop to reading any more because I wanted to start doing these reviews, and I wanted to review the first few while they were fresh in my mind, and then actually go on to number 10 and review that straight away, so it's really fresh. So I'm really excited about what I've just read, kind of thing, or really disappointed, because there is one book in particular so far that I really didn't like. I'm not going to tell you which one yet, although if you're like me, and you're a massive Goosebumps Horrorland fan, or Goosebumps fan since you were a kid, you might be able to guess which one, because there's one book in particular that just felt stupid, but I'm not going to say which one until you get to it, so you can guess if you want to in the comments. I was interested to know about the Goosebumps Hall of Horrors. The reason I didn't include it in the picture and this part of the review is because I'm going to do it as a separate series. I don't actually have any of them yet. I know there's only 6 of them, but I was looking into buying them before I started to do this series. And I noticed in the first one, I think it's called Claws, it says at the top of the book, Goosebumps Horrorland Hall of Horrors. So I thought, right, okay, that's the next part of the Horrorland series. I'll get those 6 before I do any more. And then I looked at 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and they just say Goosebumps Hall of Horrors, which you would imagine is a Horrorland ride, but because it didn't say Goosebumps Horrorland, I didn't know whether to include it or not, so I've chosen not to. Please put a comment in the comments below if I'm completely wrong in doing that, if they do carry on. But at this moment in time, they're probably going to be a separate series. So once I've done the Horrorland series, I'll then go on to the Hall of Horrors. But yeah, I'm just so excited to read these, not just because I haven't read Goosebumps since I was a kid, because there's certain Goosebumps books that I would have read now, today, maybe, that I won't remember any of since I was young, especially the 2000 series. I just have least memory of that series in particular. But these like brand new stories, I know nothing about them. Some of the odd ones, I know the storylines, I can remember some of the twists, some of the turns. But these I have no idea about, so I'm dead excited to start reading. Well, I was dead excited to start reading them, and I've been pleasantly surprised so far. There is reviewers that I follow that aren't happy with the series, which is fair enough, their points are valid, but I majorly have nostalgia goggles. I don't look at the quality of the writing or the quality of the stories as much. I just kind of tend to focus on if I enjoy it, that's my main thing. And I'll bring in the quality of the one I don't like in particular, because I felt that was like a major standout issue. But anyway, I'll stop talking now. So that's Goosebumps Horrorland. Please comment below and let me know what your favourite books are in the series. And my first review will be coming up very, very, very shortly, because I'm just about to record it after this. And yeah, I'd just like to get in touch with more Horrorland fans, Goosebumps fans. I have only really one friend that I know that is. I'm from Manchester in the UK. So if anybody from nearby wants to talk or wants to hang out over a drink or something and be a really big nerd and talk about Goosebumps, I am more than happy to do that. Just let me know. Because I can do with more friends in this city. It's always good to get more friends. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy, and I will get into Goosebumps 1, Horrorland number 1, Revenge of the Living Dummy, very, very shortly. So stay tuned for that, guys, and take care of yourselves, and good night.